So I continue to feel very disheartened coming to these meetings. Yeah, I'm also a parent. There's a whole lot of talk of this social emotional learning, and it's not what it sounds like on the outside. Sounds like it's a great wrapper, great on the outside. The inside, it's not what it looks like. In fact, parents are not being communicated with the school system with what's going on, which does directly affect our kids' emotional states. And just, in fact, last week there was some violence at Davisville Middle School. A sixth grader pushed an eighth grader. That eighth grader had a large flashlight. I guess there was a science project going on, so he had a very large flashlight in his hand, and he went back and smacked the kid right in the face, disfiguring the kid, sending him to the hospital. Lots of kids saw this, blood everywhere. The kid who hit him was put in in-school suspension, whereas the older brother of the sixth grader went into in-school suspension to beat the living daylights out of him. Both kids were sent home, I guess. But there was no communication with the parents that this had happened. So, we could have talked to our kids that saw this incident and that were traumatized by what they saw, this disgusting show of violence. Nothing went home for the parents. I found out because my son happens to just tell me everything, so that's how I knew about it. The kid who was suspended that was making threats to kill the kid that hit his brother went back to school on his bicycle, was seen, and I just want to add that no police report was made by the school for the incident of the violence, and then for the child coming back on school property, which is a direct violation. Once you're suspended, that should be a police report. So school failed to do that. Parent reported this to the police because the kids were afraid that there was going to be more violence with the threats. So why is this not being communicated to the parents? Why is nothing going home? I don't understand. If social emotional learning is such a big deal, then why is that not happening? So that's not what I see as a parent. I don't see that what you are calling social emotional learning is really anything. I think it's a big wrapping paper, basically. I think it's a way, maybe you get some funding over that. I don't really know how all that works, but it's definitely not, my kid is not being put at ease. His mind is not being put to rest that he's safe at school. And I just want to report also, there's a huge increase in vaping for these kids, and I don't think they're being educated as to the dangers of vaping marijuana oil. I know there's a whole lot about nicotine, but marijuana is a whole other beast, and I don't see any education happening with that. So you can talk all you want about social emotional learning, but I don't see it. And our agenda, our school agenda, is not supporting our kids. They're not safe. They're feeling anxious. I don't feel good as a parent sending my son every day. I'm trying to think of another alternative for his education.
Thank you. Next is Jim McGuinn.